It's time to do.
Good morning, and this is Road to Regionals. So let's go over some of the basics. So the reason that I'm going to do this weird little documentary series between now and May the 3rd is kind of more of an effort for me to push myself forwards. I don't really get to do this very often. My wife has been very supportive and has agreed that I'm allowed to do this. It's also the fact that it's been held in London this year, which I think is the first time in a few years. I'm not too sure really. I'm not a massive World Championship watcher. I know the last few odd years has been America, so it's nice to sort of represent the home country. Hopefully I'll be able to do something very interesting, but I doubt it. But you know, that's the plan. Try and get to regionals, try and do well, and then hopefully move on to worlds. That's all I can really hope for. Things looking forward to is essentially the people. Apparently, have quite a good community. Where I currently live, it is literally in the middle of nowhere. I am basically friends with cows. There's literally nothing here. The nearest town, nearest city is 14 miles away, which probably, if anyone's in America listening to this, is probably like, that's nothing. So I'm also looking forward to the rewards you can get from the tournament. I don't know if we'll get the same as that in America, but they got a very nice Generation 8 playmat, some pins, deck case, the usual stuff. So I look forward to things like that. I'm also looking forward to the new formats of the Zacian deck. Zacian deck looks really, really good. Like a little bit too good, a little bit too broken, a little bit. How many people are going to take it there? You're going to go to like 1,000 people, or like 600 people going to take a Zacian deck. So what do you do then? Do you take a Charizard deck, or you take a Charizard deck? People are then going to look at playing with Frosmoth. So Frosmoth is going to walk around just slapping energy on everyone, and next thing you know, you got a Lapras killing all your fire types. Then they have to go against the Zacians, and the Zacians got no weaknesses, so they're not getting kicked out. So I think the ADP Zacian deck looks really good, but I'm not really sure how the meta is going to really format this kind of thing. As I'm sure people are well aware, in Europe we don't have an expanded because we only get 5 regionals a year. Obviously we get like little champion, little tournaments you can get your points off of, but the regionals themselves we only get 5. We have 1 in Sheffield at the start of the season. We have 1 in Liverpool at the end of the season. I think we had 1 in Munich. I might be wrong. I think we had 1 in France, and I think there was 1 in Spain. So there's only 5 in Europe, which is a bit weird when you think about how many countries are in Europe. And yet America's getting 1 per state. Asia's getting like 1 every city. It's very strange. But nonetheless, it's looking good. I'm actually looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Expectations of this whole thing. First, I have no expectations. I'm just looking forward to going to it. I'm going to go with one of my friends. He's a YouTuber Poke Collector. I might link him in the description. He opens stuff, shows off his things, just like a lot of other pack opening YouTubers. Go give him a like, he's alright. Just subscribe if you like that kind of thing. Up to you. I mean, I'm probably not going to get anyone watching these videos anyway, which is fine with me. It's more sort of a documentary series for myself, and I suppose my son, when he's a bit older, he can go like, Daddy, what did you do when I was a kid? What was you interested in? I was like, gather round, child. We have a YouTube story for you to go watch. So that could be quite interesting. But yeah, any expectations? Top 100 would be great for me. I know point score is very low for top 100 depending on the turnout. So, we could walk away like 8 points. But at the end of the day, first ever regional. Never been to regular tournaments. So, it would be quite interesting. I would love top 8. Top 8 would be perfect. I'm pretty sure at this point, top 8 would give you enough points to actually get an invite. Unless point scores are going to get really weird towards the end of the season. Because obviously, it goes, I believe, until like the end of June, beginning of July. Top 6 is apparently a definite invite with over 1,000 people, so that would also be brilliant. I'm not going to go, I want to be number 1, I want to be the best. I'd like to be the best, but there's no way in hell I'm going to get a top position. Not when some of the people who are currently playing are playing like 20 games a day. They're making sure all their decks are perfect. They're going out every day, or they're going out at least once a week to actually play against real people. I know people say like, oh, you can play the online TCG. It's the same thing. It's not the same thing. The RNG on that thing is swayed more towards you actually having a better experience, because that's how it works. Unlike Magic the Gathering, which is kind of how many lands can you draw in a like 3 land deck. Well, apparently you draw all 3. But yeah, that's something interesting for me. Why now? I'm going to be honest. I'm 30 years old now. I've been a Pokemon fan since it came out. Well, that's a little bit of a lie. I was that kid at school that was like, no, Pokemon sucks. It's for children. I'm a big boy. I ain't watching that crap. I think it was like 9. went to my granddad's, and he goes, "Oh, I've recorded something for you." "Oh, what's that, granddad?" "I've recorded Pokemon for you." And I sat there and I watched like the first 6 episodes of Pokemon in one go, and I was hooked. And here we are, what, 21 years later, 20 and a half years later, and it's still a massive part of my life. Me and the missus have a massive collection. We play Pokemon Go as much as we can. Our kids are into Pokemon. The older two are just starting to play Pokemon cards themselves, which is kind of why this has resurged as well in me, because I actually want to enjoy playing with them. And I think obviously if I can go to tournaments, I can do these things. Maybe the kids will want to do it themselves when they're a bit older, or even now they're both old enough to be in juniors leagues. There's something for them to think about if they actually do like it. So as we've already kind of touched on, the current meta in these decks is ADP. So Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia. Great card. Great card its own. Great support card. Beautiful artwork in the alternate art. I'd love one. My missus keeps telling me to get a couple of those. The Zacian V variant is essentially, here's a big wolf boy. He got a big O sword. He can stab you. Well, ADP's going to make him better. There we go. There's also the Lucario Melmetal one, which in all fairness looks like a good deck as well. You know, get some more resistance. But with Metal Saucer and the Full Metal Frying Pan, Zacian V in that deck is basically walking around with 190 HP, and he's like, well, basically only Charizard's going to take me out this turn. Come at me, bro. I'm sure some people have seen like the hit and run decks, the more Pico decks. They look beautiful. They looks great. I think it looks great. I don't think it's going to be very good against Zacian, because Zacian's going to go, well, you hit me for a little bit. I'm just going to kill the next thing that comes in. Alright, you might think, okay, it's just a Jirachi. Alright, I'll use a switch. Switch. Oh, yeah, get that Morpeko in there. Morpeko's dead. Alright, great stuff. Pikarom apparently hit a massive resurge now. Thanks to Waters now being weak to electric is great. Obviously, the new Frosmoth, the new Lapras V and Lapras V Max, they are weak to electric as far as I'm aware. So, you know, that's a big counter to the steel counter decks. So, this is the kind of weird things that people are kind of now not necessarily predicting, but they're sort of working out, like, is it worth playing a counter deck to the counter decks, or is it just worth playing the counter decks to the Zacian deck, or is it just worth playing the Zacian deck and hoping for a mirror matchup that you get like a bit lucky with your card draw? This is down to sort of the individual. I mean, you know, what's the average deck going to cost people these days? Like £400, £500 if you want to pimp it out a bit more. I mean, cheapest way to pimp out a good deck: reverse hollow energies. All right, it's like 10% the quality of a secret energy, but secret rare energy, but you know, it's 10% the price. You know, a little bit of bling don't go anywhere. The Rilla Boom engine looks really good. So we've had this before at the beginning of Sword and Moon with the Vicky Falk and Laurentis GX card that used to go around. You basically discard energy, he put them back on, it explode, you put them back on, it explode, put it back on. Mrs. Hate using that deck. She was not very happy. The new tag team Night March Marnie deck, you know, just the constant control of your opponent not having many cards in their hand, or hopefully not having many cards in their hand. I think that looks great. I also think it looks really good mixed with a Sword and Shield Gengar and the Wobbuffet V. You know, you take damage, Gengar to put them onto Wobbuffet. You take damage, put them onto Wobbuffet. You know, if your Trevenor dies, you then just swap in your Wobbuffet. He just walks up, slaps someone. They're probably dead. Like, in all fairness, it looks like a good deck. I've considered playing that one to be honest. The control counters deck. Stone Journal VMAX and the Indeedee deck, the tanky deck. I think that looks great. You know, as a tank player in any other game, you know, I think something like this is amazing. It's just more in the sort of aspect of how is this possible this day and time. If you think about it, it's been a while. We don't have max potions or hyper potions at the moment in the format. This not exactly the same thing, but it's looking good. Sableye and Obstagoon, the Dark Terror deck, as I'm going to call it. It looks good. I don't think it's going to be good until tag teams rotate out, to be honest. Well, not as good until tag teams roll out because of the Mewtwo and Mew, they're still weak to Psychic, so they don't benefit. So the Gengar, the Sableye, and the also doesn't benefit from weakness. Same with Trevenor, they're also Psychic weakness, so it doesn't really benefit them just yet. But still, it's something to look forward to. It looks quite good. It also might look good in a deck with Jared. Can't remember his actual name. Oh God, what's his name? No, can't remember. I'm so sorry. I'll have to come back to this one. Probably on another episode. Mewtwo Mew deck looks really good. It's been really good. It's still really good. It's going to be really good. It hasn't lost anything. It's gaining stuff. And that's the issue here. So a lot of people are saying Zashion's making the format, and maybe Zashion is making the format currently. But the Mew and Mew decks, Mewtwo decks, Mew and Mew decks are still a big thing, still a dangerous thing, and will definitely cause some issues for just your basic players. And in all fairness, that's kind of okay. Like, that has to happen sometimes. The Reshazard and Fire Acceleration deck, I mean, at the moment, quite a lot of people are using Welder just to accelerate their own hands, especially if it's double colourless. So it's not the same issue. No, I think I like Reshazard. I mean, I'm a Charizard fanboy. But there we go. So I think it looks really good. But yeah, Fire Acceleration is really good at the moment. Same with the Water Acceleration, same with the Grass Acceleration. Those decks will be better, I think, once they start to get to the end of their own format. So probably Year 2 of Sword and Shield, depending on how that goes. In all fairness, I'm expecting a Charizard V card probably in set 3 or in the Premium Collection this year. And then I'm also expecting a Charizard VMAX and then possibly also a promotional one. Because, as we're all aware, the Pokemon Company knows that Charizard sells, and it sells a lot. It sells easily. I mean, you go look at eBay listings, you go look at any Facebook group who wants to sell Charizards. People are bending over backwards to get them. Look at the black shiny Charizard that came out in Hidden Fates. The first one actually sold for £10,000. Well, $10,000. So, you know, to be the first is always to be the best. So, there we go. And then, last couple of things. Blounds, Unlucky Egg looks like it's going to be possibly a competitive deck still. Again, it's got weakness advantage against Zacian. Good chance it's going to like one-hit KO. Throw in a couple of Lily's Pokédolls. You know, you're not going to have much issues there with the acceleration. Again, Lucky Blounds is fire, so it's going to be using the fire acceleration. Your Flintstone, your Welders, your Fire Crystals. So it's got stuff going for it still. It's not as though it's a dead-on-water deck. Now, the Pidgeotto deck looks like it's possibly hit its last run now. But I'm sure there's someone out there who's still playing it. I'm sure there's someone out there still enjoying it. So, you know, you do you. You have fun. And you keep playing. So at the end of the day, if you're not having fun, stop playing. Stop gambling. Right, guys. That's me out for today. Thank you very much for listening to this rambling for what I believe to be like a 13-minute video, my first video. I'm really sorry they're so long. Although I'm not really sorry they're so long. But there we go. So long. Farewell. And we'll see you in the next video.